This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities.
Hi, welcome to Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Consider us this week an on-air classroom for starting, developing, and maintaining your own business. The teachers are local business owners, educators, community leaders, and our team of experts. They share their experience and advice to help you graduate to entrepreneurship. We break each weekly course into 7 subjects, each designed to cover topics you'll encounter. From getting started to running your business day to day, we focus on a local industry and wrap up with a success story. Class is held every Sunday morning on Wish TV or watch the live stream, wishtv.com. You can get content on demand at beoshow.com. And while you're there, sign up for our newsletter. It's updated every Tuesday. Be sure to check out the Business, Equity, and Opportunities podcast, part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. Listen and subscribe so you don't miss a minute. And if you have questions or you'd like to be part of what we're doing, send us an email, beo@wishtv.com. With that, class, here's what's coming up today on Business, Equity, and Opportunity. Attend the Champions of Diversity Awards ceremony to meet old friends and new. Learn a technical assistance program, how it can help you access capital. Meet the new director of the Hispanic Business Council. Find out why numbers count in accounting and bookkeeping. More tips as always on running your business day to day. Our industry focus, if you need it, they can probably make it. And we return to the round room for our success story. Now that you know today's curriculum, let's get to business by getting started.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
Indiana Minority Business Magazine held its 2023 Champions of Diversity Awards dinner in downtown Indianapolis last week. Our own Alexis Rogers co-hosted the event. It drew nearly 1,000 people, all there to celebrate 17 champions. We featured some of the winners on Business, Equity, and Opportunities, so this was an opportunity to catch up with old friends and meet some new ones.
Anytime you get to bring folks together and celebrate individuals who are, champions of diversity and recognize them for the work that they're doing, not only in their place of business, but in their community, it's just phenomenal. And, the Indianapolis Recorder is an institution here in Indianapolis, so for them to put this event on and for us to be able to be here participating as the city of Indianapolis, we just feel proud. The different types of businesses, a lot of folks that I know personally, excited to see everybody that's being recognized tonight, but it is a very diverse group and a very distinguished group.
This gives you hope. It's an amazing event. It truly highlights the champions of diversity in our community, which is so important. It shouldn't be just a business necessity. It should be a moral imperative. And all of these folks go above and beyond to make sure that our community is completely integrated and a place that people want to work, live, and raise a family. There's always room for growth. There's always room for betterment. And this really is inspirational because everybody in the room wants to do better and wants the community to look like all of us. All of us speaking together in a way that really shines, in a way that shows our diversity, is such a marvelous thing.
Well, it brings us great pleasure to introduce the recipient of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Freedom Award, Dr. Toby Malachi.
Clearly, do it well or not at all. I wish each and every awardee, each and every one of you in this room right here, success for today, bright hope for tomorrow, and have a successful day. Think globally.
What it means to me is that someone who's been in business 41 years, who came up in the 50s and the 60s, and been through a few things that not necessarily being fair to black people coming up, and to see where it's evolved at today, and to see people recognized for their contributions, no matter what that contribution is, that pleases me. I always say diversity is keen. Diversity is keen of thought. You need different thoughts at the business table, different thoughts to conduct business, different thoughts that can run your organization. Without diversity, you have just that monotone decision maker all the time, the same old, expecting different results. I think someone has a definition about that. I think it's called Einstein. But there's some very powerful people on that stage, and everybody's a winner, of course, but their contributions to society through diversity and what they do on a day in, day out basis. I'm very humbled by that. I think as we look to the future, what we need to be doing is thinking about how to get more diversity at boardroom tables, more diversity in senior positions, in an organization, in a corporation. And we need to be doing more to get the young kids thinking about that they can believe and achieve and set their goals to move up. We need to take some of what I call the regurgitated silo. That is cooking the same old people over and over again. We need to do away with that. That's an old operating model. COVID-19 taught us we got to use new operating models, and it's a new reality today. And I always say, have a successful day and think globally.
Marlene Dotson has the Best Award for the Indiana Television Group, the President's Award.
As you leave the room, go home, tomorrow, wake up and get up. Think about what are you doing for others.
This is just exciting. It's an honor and humble to be awarded with this, especially now that we're a week before we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy. And there's so many, it's just exciting to know how much as a members of the community we can do for others. As Dr. King asked, what can you do for others, right? What are you going to do for others? So this is a reminder for me, myself, being an immigrant and coming from a different country, and do my little part, just playing a little bit part and to impact other people's life. So this is incredible recognition, and I am so humble and honored. This is a great time when you see us in the state. You have different individuals from different backgrounds, different racial backgrounds, cultural backgrounds. It is just incredible to be at the table with all of them. I do personally believe that as a community, as we work together, we can achieve major goals and impact the lives of all the community.
I am delighted that the organization has been recognized by the Indianapolis Recorder Media Group for this award. When you think about the opportunities that are available to young people across the country, to know that we are in the position of touching their lives in a way that allows them to go on and create some outstanding careers and hopefully contribute back to Central Indiana, that's a wonderful thing. So when you think about Holly Harrington, who's with the Indianapolis Airport, she has had, well, one son has already graduated, another son will graduate next year. We have a partnership with Holly at the airport to introduce students to aviation. If you look at Dr. Toby Malachi, I ran into him earlier this evening. He used to come to the Center for Leadership Development to offer encouraging remarks to me as a student back in 1981. And so it's that ongoing connection. You think about Brandon Brown, who is with the Mind Trust. I also sit on their board of directors. And so there's just so many connections, not only personally, but then with the college. And so it is very rewarding. And I really do feel very optimistic about what our society, what our business community is going to look like over the next 10 to 15 years, because we have some people who are not only very intentional, but they're committed to bringing about a greater balance in the workplace. And so this is really a great night and an opportunity for people to fully see by example what is occurring in our community, and they can feel very proud about saying that they're from Indianapolis and Central Indiana.
Getting Started, made possible by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation.
If you'd like more information about the Champions of Diversity or anything in getting your business started, visit our website. It's beoshow.com. Next, we'll learn about a technical assistance program that can help you access capital. That and more when we return from this short recess class. Welcome back. This is Business Equity and Opportunities, and time to talk about accessing capital. If your small business needs help funding growth and improvement projects, there's a program for that.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. Access to capital.
Natasha Jensen-Matta is Associate State Director of the Indiana Small Business Development Center. She talks about the Indiana Technical Assistance Program, or INTAP. INTAP connects small businesses with professional help to complete improvement projects.
My role at the Indiana Economic Development Corporation is really all things small business and entrepreneurship. And think of that broadly, what entrepreneurship means, but it's the one-on-one technical assistance and support to small businesses and entrepreneurs and programs that go with that. So early capital, investment, all of that touches our team here at the IEDC. So the INTAP program allows a company to go seek outside resources and expertise to complete a project as they grow and develop. The program is competitive, but businesses can apply for up to $15,000 to help them procure a service provider to complete a project that is agreed upon. Any small business in the state can apply for INTAP. There are a few eligibility criteria that are important to note. First, you must be a small business, you must be for-profit, and you must be using a vendor to complete your project that is based in Indiana as well. Those projects will need to be completed by December 31st, 2023 to take advantage of the funding. Funds will be available in July, starting in July. That doesn't mean the project can't kick off or start before then, but contracts with the vendor will not be executed until July. INTAP applications are open now and will close in the middle of February. INTAP has provided funding for a wide variety of projects for entrepreneurs and small businesses across the state. A few of those examples would be prototyping, app development, SBIR, STTR grant writing assistance, IP legal assistance, and really anything in between. It's important to note that it doesn't have to be tech focused. The goal is really to assist entrepreneurs as they look to grow and innovate and complete a project that's really important for their next step. We've had a little bit of everything, but one company that stands out in particular is in the manufacturing industry. So not a tech-based program, but they really took advantage of INTAP to put together training videos for their employees as they implemented new machinery and new systems in their manufacturing facility. Small businesses should definitely look at the website isbdc.org and go to the INTAP page to look at the full list of eligibility requirements and projects that are available. There are a few things that we don't fund, so want to be sure that your project is eligible for the program. But really go check out that website, talk to a vendor about what it would cost and what the project would be, and make sure you can get it completed in the time frame of the program. For the IEDC, INTAP is really a program that's here to support small businesses and entrepreneurs along every stage of their journey. We see a lot of businesses use INTAP as a stepping stone to the next big thing for their business, and that's really important to us as we support entrepreneurs going forward.
If you'd like to learn more about the Indiana Small Business Development Center or INTAP or accessing capital in general, we'll connect you at BE&O While you're there, sign up for our newsletter for more resources. Coming up next, the Indy Chamber's Hispanic Business Council has a newly named director. Meet her in 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Grow your business with Wish TV's featured business directory. For less than $200 a month, be one of the limited businesses in 30 different categories, benefiting from one of the top visited websites in Indiana and Indiana's only statewide news station. Space is limited. Contact us today.
Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. If on your first year on the job you help membership in your organization more than double and see revenue jump by $40,000, you might just get a promotion. It certainly happened to the subject of This Week in Business.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities. This Week in Business.
Marcela Montero is the new director of the Indy Chamber Hispanic Business Council. She joined the chamber in 2021 as a sales rep. Did not take long for her to climb the ladder of success.
I am originally from Quito, Ecuador. I came to the US in 2001. My parents own a business in Ecuador, and I was part of the everyday life, just watching them have that business and run the business and how hard it was. After my dad passed away, I will go with my mom to hotels because they had a consulting company, and so their market was a touristic company, so either hotels, restaurants, travel agencies. And so when my dad passed away, I will go with my mom to the hotels. While he will do audits or work there, I will enjoy the hotel. And maybe now that I think back, that's what drew me to go to hospitality school. But then also, I always paid attention to the business side of things because my mom was always working and helping businesses. I was working in hospitality and COVID happened, the pandemic, so in 2020, I was forced out of the industry. And someone just shared with me that there was an opportunity open at the chamber. I applied and I learned that this position was to do sales, membership, and to support the Hispanic Business Council. I was a little afraid because I had not done sales before in the past, but I took this position because they said you're going to be supporting the Hispanic Business Council. And that drew me into this position because I always being the type of person that wants to help. I feel good helping other people. We provide guidance, resources, through free business coaching for business owners in English and Spanish. We provide financial education and access to capital. We are micro-lenders, so we offer from $1,000 to $50,000 for business owners. Everyone can apply, even if business owners want to apply with an ITIN number. In that case, the loan is up to $10,000. They just have to have a business. They can be in the early stage of their business. We offer education before they are approved for the loan, so if they don't qualify, we work with them so they can get access to that loan. There's many people that come here that have been here in the US for maybe less than 5 years, and they don't come with a lot of money. So having access to a loan that will help them build their business and build generational wealth is important. I had a cleaning company that she just needed to buy more vacuums, just basic stuff, but she doesn't have the money initially. And she didn't qualify for a regular bank loan. So coming to an organization that is a CDFI that can help them with those micro loans, it was important. It made a difference for her and her business. We provide them, again, guidance and resources so they can understand how things work here. Even the legalities, what banks look for here. And if we don't know the answer, we can always count. We have a big network with the chamber, and there's many people that want to give back to the community that they have served as mentors or advisors for these business owners. I lead with passion. I enjoy helping people. And being at this position allows me to make resources available, allows me to use the network that we have to connect people. When you expand your network, opportunities happen. And so I just want to impact people in whichever way I can in this position that I am. When I started at the chamber, I realized that the number of Hispanic members, it was very small. It was just 14 members. And I realized that they didn't even know each other. So it was important for me to create something that will engage business owners, that they will get to know each other. So promote connectivity, have a community, and bring a topic that will be educational for them. So I created Conexión Empresarial, where I invite mainly members of the chamber that are Hispanic, and the topic and everything is in Spanish. And you will be surprised, even if the business owners are bilingual, it's something cultural. We feel very comfortable speaking in Spanish because it's our first language. And so it's mainly those two things, to promote connectivity and to provide an educational topic that will help the business owner grow and be a better professional. People are welcome to contact us. They can visit our website, indychamber.com, and my information there is under Entrepreneur Services. We offer guidance and resources in English and Spanish, and these sessions are free, so they are welcome to just get in touch with us.
For more information about the Hispanic Business Council, we have links on our website. It's beoshow.com. While you're there, subscribe to our Business Equity and Opportunities podcast so you can listen to us at any time. Coming up, if you're starting a medical practice, you may need some help on the business side. So it's coming up on the other side of these messages. You're watching Business Equity and Opportunities. Our friend, Circle City Broadcasting CFO Ty Shea has said many times on this program, you should not be afraid to hire an outside expert to help with accounting and bookkeeping to help make your small business profitable, because numbers count.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities, Accounting and Bookkeeping.
Numbers Count LLC is a company with a mission to provide clients with technical expertise and financial support needed to succeed in an ever-changing business landscape. Letitia Maples-Johnson is the co-founder. She takes some time away from the numbers to offer her insights to us on accounting and bookkeeping for small businesses.
So we are Numbers Count. We are a financial management firm, and we handle everything from accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, and just fully managing your AR, so your revenue. We are the company, we add processes that subtract stress. One of the key things to remember when it comes to accounting and bookkeeping is that accounting is truly the backbone of any business. You should be making all of your decisions based upon your finances. The first thing to do, of course, is to set your budget. So what is it that you want to use? How much are you going to allocate to each expense, be it marketing and things like that? And then just keeping a record of where are you in regards to hitting that budget or exceeding the budget. One of the biggest things that businesses may forget is to set up separate accounts, separate banking accounts. You definitely want to establish an account for your business, which is its own entity, and also your own. Now, one thing to keep in mind is anything in accounting can be corrected. So in the event that when you start your business, you don't have a bank account specifically for your business and you're using your personal bank account to fund your business, that is not something that is the death. It's not a end all be all. We can always correct that. So to initially set up that business account, but if you don't have it, it's okay. We are here to help and we can always get it straightened out. If you are the only employee of your business, well, first things first is you would be you would be an employee, and again, that business is its own entity. So you definitely still want to keep anytime you pay yourself. If you're an LLC, that would be a distribution. So anytime you're taking out a distribution, you definitely want to track that. And in the event you are set up as an S Corp or corporation where you are actually on payroll, it becomes a little easier. But when you are an LLC, just make sure that whatever expenses that you personally have, if it's a true personal expense, go ahead and you can let your accounting know it's a true personal expense, but you are still keeping track of any time you are personally taking money out of the account. If you are unsure about how to prepare a budget, what does a budget look like? How much should I be allocating to marketing or any other expenses? Initially, I would hire an accountant just as a consulting, like to consult with you, to help you set it up. In the event you believe that you could, keep track of the books yourself at that point, then that's a good chance to go ahead and book those entries. But you always, at least quarterly, want to have a professional. So not necessarily a bookkeeper. If you're doing all the bookkeeping, you want to hire someone such as like a controller to look over your transactions, make sure it's accurate. So come tax time, you are making sure that you are decreasing your tax liability, everything is accurate, and your tax preparer is very happy. A lot of times, even if you have a shoebox full of receipts, you don't know where to start there. Maybe you just have bank statements from January, and it's all fixable. We can go back from the beginning of 2022, January, and have your financials ready and prepared for 2023. In the event that maybe you said, hey, I'm going to try and do my accounting myself, and you don't think you did it so right, then that's another way we can easily correct those. Nothing, it's not like money, like once it leaves the door, it's like, no, it's just transactions and making them accurate. So everything is correctable and nothing is like just too big of a disaster that it cannot be corrected.
If you'd like to know more about Numbers Count or need information about accounting and bookkeeping in general, visit our website. It's beoshow.com. Ahead, in this Mental Wellness Month, we have tips for keeping your staff's mental health strong. We speak to an expert. Welcome back to Business Equity and Opportunities. I'm Scott Sander. It is common to hear, my job is driving me crazy, but workplace mental health is serious business. This is Mental Wellness Month, so we went to Eskenazi Health for tips on how mental health affects your business day to day.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities, running your business day to day.
I provide supervision for a wonderful group of clinicians who provide crisis intervention care for individuals coming in either from some of our health centers around the city or that walk in recognizing they need support, or sometimes who are brought to us from the police department or EMS services around the community. We assess kind of what's going on for people in the moment, whether they are having suicidal ideations, homicidal ideations, perhaps they're having hallucinations, visual or auditory hallucinations. And our team assesses kind of what's going on for folks. We get a feeling of, do they need to be in the hospital to stabilize? Would that be the best route of support and care for them? Can we set up a safety plan and a supportive community around them to lend support and help take care of them? So it's very individualized for whatever comes in the moment. Some patients we know well, but even when we see them return, there could be different issues that arise. In some ways, that's coming down a little bit as the world opens up again. But with that also comes reintroduction into the world and what that means. People kind of got comfortable and cozy in their homes. And so sometimes to step back out into the world can be scary in itself, whether you're walking out to do a job or stepping back out into society and being unsure of, who you will run into or situations that might arise, whether it's health issues or personal issues with others around you. We just don't know. I think it's really important for employers to keep an open line of communication. Give permission for folks to talk about where they really are in any given moment in time. A little bit to break the stigma of mental health issues or even illness at that point. Make it okay and a safe space for their employees to talk. I'm having a bad day, I'm feeling depressed, or there's family issues that are arising that are creating some challenges for me. So having an open line of communication, allowing employees to speak to what might be going on for them in any given moment in time. It's important for employers to watch for changes in behaviors from their staff members, you know, whether they're calling in frequently and that's unusual for them, or if they've become quiet and distant, reflective. There are warning signs that people can recognize and learn to work with, and just check in. Check in. I think that's the most important across the board for everyone. Check in with people that you care about, whether they work for you or whether they're family members. Check in to see how they're doing, especially if there are some signs that are unusual behaviors for people. I think, again, speaking honestly with their staff member, I am concerned about this. It's also important, through COVID, we had a lot more insurgence of online platforms that help support people in mindfulness and meditation. And a lot of times employers can work with those companies. I know Headspace has a business opportunity. Calm has an employee-based service. We have Calm here at the hospital that we utilize for any of our staff members are able to access that and have an account. That's a great way for a small business owner to continue to care for their staff, allow those moments of relaxation and pause. I think it's fair to talk with them openly. I'm concerned about some of the changes I'm seeing, lately, and I wonder if we might need to provide a different kind of support for you. And just most of the time, if you ask, people will tell you. If there are things going on with them, they will tell you. They need an opportunity to feel supported in that moment. So listening with an open ear, without judgment, without criticism, and creating that safe space. For those very reasons, sustainability, to keep your staff available and present so that you're not constantly having the revolving door of people coming into work and leaving. I think, again, speaking with the staff members, allowing them to take the pause as they need to, and feeling cared for is a place that people are going to want to stay connected. And if they feel like they are cared for each day when they go to work, it's much easier for people to continue to go to work and to do their jobs. So having an open mind that life happens, and we are coming out of some really difficult times in our world coming out of the pandemic, and people's focus and their ability to navigate life changed for many people. So having the ability to speak openly and honestly will keep staff members engaged. And if they know they have a safe place, if they know they're not going to be judged, then that, again, is a place for them to go and feel supported. So all the more reason to get up and to go to work.
If you'd like more thoughts on running your business day to day or any of the segments on our show today, check out our website. It's beoshow.com. Up next, our industry focus is on a local company that helps take products from the sketch pad to the assembly line. You're watching Business Equity and Opportunities. Every week on Business Equity and Opportunities, we take time to focus on a certain industry. In this case, a local company that says it can help you make an idea into an actual product that functions the way you want it to, from design through engineering to manufacturing.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities, Industry Focus.
Jason Andrews is an executive with Catalyst Product Development. Catalyst has had its hands in many of the products you use every day, from children's toys to pet products, lawn care, and more. The mission is to take your rough idea and make it a functioning reality, with a business based here in Indianapolis.
Catalyst Product Development Group has been around for 23 plus years now. We started in 1999. Small business to start up. We came from a lot of engineers and industrial designers. They have a background in industrial design and engineering, and a team that came together as a group to solve problems in the design and product development field throughout different roles and responsibilities of people here at our company. So we focus on product development from start to finish. We start with brainstorming, concept ideation, and quite a few steps in between, all the way through a small volume or low volume production for our clients, depending on their needs. So we do a lot of different things with entrepreneurs as well as large companies, but the entrepreneurs come to us and they may not understand the whole process. And here in Indiana, we work with them closely. We have a lot of local entrepreneurs that we help, and we can take it from, again, start to finish on the project for them. And we also give them the knowledge base of what it takes to get something to market. Again, we will give them input and maybe even avenues of where they can take this, even from getting patents and things like that. They want to protect their ideas for that type of thing, getting intellectual property on their specific idea, and then any ideas we develop for them would be theirs. Maybe they market it themselves, or they take it to another step further where they may sell it to a larger company to help them get investment money and things like that. There's tons of business and manufacturing here in Indiana that you may not see day to day. You just don't realize it's here, maybe. But working in this environment where we work with a lot of different clients and business owners, we come across a lot of that in business and manufacturing in Indiana. I think one thing we can assist with, we can do things faster and help manufacturing their ideas quicker to get to market, which is helpful for maybe their higher end manufacturer that we can work with. Some of the things we've been seeing in the industry currently obviously is a lot of reshoring or coming back to the U.S. for manufacturing, with kind of the situation as you see today maybe out there in the world. It's not the best thing to be having your product overseas right now. There's a lot of delays in shipping and logistics and things like that we're seeing with our clients that has brought more manufacturing maybe back to Indiana that wasn't here 10 years ago that had left. So we're actually being able to help with that. Maybe some of our clients have tooling that's overseas already that they can bring back and reshore here, and we're able to help them run smaller volume manufacturing, but as well as help them get to the next level with some larger manufacturers that we have relationships with. But we are seeing a lot of that coming back to the U.S. and even in Indiana here today. From our perspective, we see a lot of injection molding just because that's kind of where we play in the manufacturing field. There's also a lot of metal manufacturing that I think comes back here. That's trying to get more cost effective. I think a lot of it may not deal with cost. That was one of the reasons we saw a lot of it go maybe overseas in the past, but coming back to Indiana and the U.S. from a timing and logistics standpoint now is, I think, really big. Types of manufacturing, again, we're seeing more of the injection molding type manufacturing from our perspective just because we deal with that a lot. But we also get involved with some of the upfront designs and maybe metal or sheet metal or fabrication, things like that we do see more of that going on here in the state too as well. There's a lot of trend towards the IoT market, more of from our standpoint where we would be able to help maybe partners that we work with in the IoT industry, that intellectual intelligence that you see out there now. A lot of smart devices are being developed where, from our perspective, we try to package that as a term that we use here. We're making the housings, we're developing the enclosures that would go around your smart devices or your smart whatever it is, technology that's out there, maybe in your vehicles or your household items, or maybe even in the industrial atmosphere where you need this type of technology on the manufacturing floors and things like that. So from the trends that we see, that's a lot of things we've been seeing recently, dealing with some clients that are doing that either on the consumer side, the commercial side, and even in the industrial side where things are going more smarter these days. We received our ISO certification in January, and one of the reasons we added the steps to get our ISO certification was to help grow our business as well as help our clients out. on the manufacturing side. ISO certification isn't necessarily needed as far as doing low volume prototyping, MVP products where our clients need smaller volume just to do test market evaluation, field test market, things like that. But growing it into the next phase of our business will help with growing our clients' business as well, to be able to take the next step from maybe an MVP product line that they're doing as far as field testing and developing prototyping for them. Once they get past that, they would want to go into more of a manufacturing-oriented business to where we can now help them if their requirements are needed for the ISO certification.
As always, if you'd like to learn more about the industry we're focusing on, visit our website, beoshow.com. Next is our success story. We return to the round room to speak with the boss about creating a culture of good. You're watching Business Equity and Opportunity. This is Business Equity and Opportunities. We are heading back to Fishers to talk again with the head of the Round Room. His company's been around a long time, longer in fact than most of the products he sells. It is today's success story.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities Success Story.
Scott Moorhead is the Chief Executive Officer for Round Room, one of the 5 largest privately held companies in Indiana. It's a Fishers-based holding company leading and investing in the wireless industry.
There are more opportunities to be in business today than ever, and I think that's exciting. I think their technology advancements are exciting, and I think your ability to have multiple streams of revenue and have it not affect the work that you do is exciting. There's a lot of opportunities for people to achieve whatever level of success they want to achieve, both personally, professionally, monetarily, spiritually. We can't be in an era of more opportunity than we are right now. And I think that will only grow, and I am appreciative of that. And I think it's a blessing for me to be in the space that I'm in, so I get a chance to understand technology, and I get a chance to sort of sit back and say, okay, what are the opportunities that we as a company can create for folks? And that's a real blessing for me to be able to sit back and do that. To be able to network with some of the other business leaders that we have in the Indianapolis area. We have a lot of talent here in Indianapolis, and I love the networking opportunities, and to see all the different industries that we are bringing into town and hear all the stories of some of my associates and my peers. It's exciting, and I think that's really a good indicator of where we're headed. So I may be bullish for the wrong reasons, or maybe they're the right reasons, but maybe it's just because I'm achieving success and I'm not frustrated right now, and many people probably are. But I think if they just get time and space to sit back and see what opportunities that are out there, they'll see that there's never been more opportunities. So in terms of the things we've done for our employees, that is another one, and that was just recently. That was a discussion that started a couple of years ago about, when you're an owner of a small business, you're not the only one that drives the success. And so I think my wife and I as owners had several discussions about how do we bring people along with us, because the company was achieving incredible amounts of success. And while we had standard bonuses and annual performance reviews and raises, it didn't seem like enough. We were in the mood to share, And so we contemplated how to do this and all the different structures. And finally our accounting group said, well, you could just do an employee profit sharing plan and put together your own rules. And I'm like, perfect. My own rules? I love my own rules. So, we put together the plan, created a point system and rewarded people for loyalty. The longer you've been here, the more you get, and really made it as simple as possible. And so sharing those profits just felt like the right thing to do. I wish it was way more exciting than that, or way more scientific than that, but it just felt like the right thing to do. And I think when it feels like the right thing to do as an entrepreneur, you gotta follow your gut sometimes. And so we did, and we've had, it would be really hard to get bad news when you put together an employee profit sharing program, but some of the news that we've had come out of that has just been outstanding. So I firmly believe that money doesn't change you, that if you get some money, it just makes whoever you are bigger. It just puts the focus on you. And we had so many really positive, wonderful stories with these bonuses that we gave people that it was just so reassuring to know that what we had done in terms of attracting and keeping the right kind of employee has been working.
Thanks for joining us for Business Equity and Opportunities. We hope we're delivering information that you can use in your business journey. You can always find more on our website, beoshow.com. There you'll also find segments from the show designed to help you start a business or make one that you're already running stronger. For more, listen and subscribe to our Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. It's part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. Sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. If you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We're always eager to hear from you. And we hope you'll join us again next Sunday, every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock here on Wish TV, or stream the show at wishtv.com. I'm Scott Sander. Have a great Sunday.
Business Equity and Opportunities is made possible by Indiana Economic Development Corporation.